Teofimo Senior in the eyes and just taking that moment in where he feels he's gonna beat you and he wants to see your reaction. What do you think about that? What would you tell Lomachenko on that one?
Sorry.
It's okay. Maybe that's a good first response. But yeah, what do you think of him saying that though?
Um, it's I guess that's more like he's trying to like that's that pride. That's like that boost of ego and so I just look at it like he's a cocky son of a bitch. He makes me laugh, though. But I like that's what's gonna make the fight so exciting. And the thing is, like for me, what I can say is that I'm gonna enjoy knocking you out. Like I really am. At the same time, the time that I enjoyed knocking out Diego Magdaleno, I'm gonna enjoy knocking your head off. And I won't feel bad of the aftermath of whatever happens.
Is it?
I got no remorse. I got no remorse for you. I don't. So for me it's kill or be killed. And I shouldn't be. It's just at the end, everyone stay safe and everything. It's just we're gonna bang it out. Me and him, we're gonna thug it out, and let's see who's the champion at the end.
Wow. Those are the words of Teofimo Lopez. Of course, he calls Lomachenko because shout out to FightHype.com. They did an in-house video interview with Teofimo Lopez, and they asked him what was his take on Lomachenko, saying that he wants to look Teofimo in his eyes after he beats him. And I don't know if it was before or after, just look him in the eyes, in his dad's eyes. His father is his trainer. And he wants to look him in his eyes. And Teofimo responded, cocky son of a bitch. That's that pride he has. And he can't wait to knock his head off. And he will have no remorse after that. And like he said, and I agree with Teofimo Lopez, that's why this fight was one of the most anticipated fights that I wanted to see this year. Or this first half of this year. Lopez and Lomachenko, because Lopez has been following this guy, taunting this guy, blasting this guy for a very long time. I don't know if you guys have heard the stories about Lomachenko and Teofimo. Okay, these stories have went back last year before, where Teofimo wanted to fight Lomachenko, and Bob Arum would have Teofimo at this hotel. Teofimo goes to the hotel that Loma's in. Lomachenko checks out of that hotel and goes to another hotel. So these are the stories that you hear because of all the constant trash talk that Teofimo was laying on Lomachenko. And when both of these guys are set to fight, they were set to fight after Teofimo knocked out his last opponent. And that was very, very impressive, by the way. And the power is definitely there. Teofimo Lopez looks like a young, strong, determined fighter. That's what makes it so good. It's just, will he be something different? Or will he be just like all the other opponents? Now, the thing that gets me about Teofimo, unlike other fighters, as of now, is Teofimo Lopez, he looks like he's done his homework on Lomachenko. Okay? It seems to me where he has studied this guy, unlike other guys and other fighters that's been in the ring. A lot of people claim to know Lomachenko until they get in there. And let me find out what he said with his own mouth, because it was very interesting to see how he broke down Lomachenko versus other opponents.
No, you don't notice it, but then they actually take some big shots, and then that's how he makes everyone quit.
Second half of a big title fight. Lomachenko been known to throw a lot of punches in the second half of the fight per round.
Yeah, he's a slow starter.
He's a slow starter, right?
And what he likes to do is he just likes to pretty much wear you down with the small shots and little shots, and little by little you don't notice it, but then they actually turn into big shots, And that's how he makes everyone quit. He makes everyone just quit on the stool because they're too pussy to fucking stand on the fight. So I just, I think of it as like, that's not us. That ain't us. And that won't ever be us. We'll just quit on the stool. Ever. You gotta take me on the fucking stretcher if you need to do that. So, that's just me. That's my pride. And I mean, it shows, though. I think people, if they haven't studied it or haven't seen it, I'm the type of fighter that doesn't quit. Broken my hand in the first round, had a cut in the second round, had a sprained ACL in a fight. I mean, what more do you want?
Wow. That's what I was talking about. And I timed that pretty good. Where he was talking about Lomachenko. He said Lomachenko is a slow starter. He hits these guys, he wears them down with smaller shots. And those shots become bigger shots later on in the fight. And he wears these guys down. And he said they're too pussy to get up. And he said that ain't us, that'll never be us. I'll rather go out on the stretcher. And he said that's that pride. So I'm like, okay. We have him saying, and speaking of his pride, we have him speaking of Lomachenko's pride. So we got two prideful guys, two fighters, two guys, one undefeated young fighter and a guy once beating due to a lot of other controversy, beaten once. What I liked about Teofimo Lopez, the way he said it, he's a slow starter. So not only does he come on in the second half, he's a slow starter. And that shows that Teofimo Lopez is studying his opponent. He's not just going in there and relying on his power. At first, I thought he was doing that because a lot of people and a lot of boxers that have power, and Teofimo has power. The guy, he knocks you out and he does that. And he does a little flip and he goes all around the ring like he's, running a home run, which was very, very impressive to me. I can definitely see, I thought at first him saying, I can knock his head off. A lot of fighters you see that do that. They brag on their power. Wilder is one of them, and especially. They brag so much on their power, you got to ask yourself, like, well, what if the power fails you? Okay? And at first I thought Teofimo was on that category until listening to him breaking down Lomachenko and the things that he does. That means that he's paid attention to the fights that he's been in. He's not just sitting there thinking he knows what to do. On top of that, this is the same individual, Teofimo Lopez, saying that he has 4 ways to beat Lomachenko. 4 ways. Now, a guy that's a skillful 2-time golden Olympian like Vasily Lomachenko's been in there, seen a lot of stuff. So he's probably seen the ins and outs, but has he seen anybody like Teofimo Lopez before? That's the number one question. That's the $1 million question that you have, that we all have, especially me, because I want to know what will come about this fight. And, Teofimo Lopez just, blasted all the other fighters. They're practically pussies. They just can't, they don't have the energy or the will to continue. And a lot of those fights are worse stopped. These guys say no mas, no Lomachenko, So, Teofimo Lopez looks like he has it all together. I like his work ethic. He said, this is the time where, you can't use this as an excuse not to train. He's moving to Arkansas, and I was worried about him because I know Teofimo Lopez is from Brooklyn, or one of those boroughs, but I believe it's Brooklyn, definitely New York. And he said when he left, he definitely had, that was a good time to leave him and his wife to move to Arkansas. Okay, so that was a good thing, because, who is to say that he wouldn't have been affected by that? There's no way of knowing when you have kids, wife, outside branches of your family that's going in and out of this environment with this stuff going around. So I'm glad that he is holding up in Arkansas, because as far as I know, Arkansas is nothing like Louisiana, the state I live in, which is terrible. This place, New York, Washington, these guys, Italy, these places, these are bad places to be in for that stuff. But anyway, he's training, and he looks like he's well rested. He looks like he's high spirited, and he still looks determined to get it on with Lomachenko, most importantly. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Teofimo Lopez saying that he is a cocky son of a bitch, Lomachenko, that he can't wait to take his head off, and there will be no remorse. Leave your comments below. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.